how to create very colourful pattern designs very quickly using gradients in Photoshop. First thing to do, let's just go back to a fresh document, edit and fill and black. Now this document's about 2000 by 1000. You can make it any size you want. Gradient tool, go and select a very colourful gradient, one of these ones that's got multiple stops, not this sort of basic one. Well, you can still use that of course, but I'm just going to suggest just go with this one. Then go for reflected and difference. And you'll see I've got this bounding box. How to get that? Go to view and pattern preview. Make certain that's turned on. And then when you apply it, again, hold down the shift, either left or right, and release. And you can see this design. Now don't go at an angle, so if you go at an angle, you will get this sharp divide. You don't want that. Well, unless you do want that. But I'm just going to go for a nice seamless design without any of those. Now occasionally you will get that appearing. You will suddenly see a line at the edge. Just undo. Just as long as you notice it before you actually go too far, you can always undo and just apply it again. And just change the origin, change the length and release. And you can create that. And at any point, you can always go to edit and define pattern. Just store it away. Click OK. Go there. And you can change the gradient. Now you can see what I mean about line. It's created, straight away you can see it. You've got this line, this sharp line. You just will not get rid of that. Just try and avoid that. You can of course select any other gradient. Don't have to continue with the same gradient. So just go and select this one and apply that. And you can see you apply it over and over again. Sometimes you get gradients you think, oh, don't really like that. But this one, I like this one. But again, you see, typical, like I say, just you can spot it. Sometimes the line will be this way. Sometimes you'll see the line there. Just apply it. And then you just check around very quickly. Just cursor, you can see that if you're getting this sort of sharp line appearing. I like that one as well. So edit and define brush preset. Pattern preset even. Of course, you could also use it as brushes as well if you want to do that as well. That's another option. Once you've done that a few times and you think, well, okay, that's great. I've got these very, very linear designs. You might start thinking, well, there must be more to it than that. Well, what you can do, you can also go to filter and some of these work okay, blurs not so, but distort. Not all of them work well. Unfortunately, the one that I would love to see work well doesn't. Don't know why. Doesn't seem to work well. Doesn't wrap around or anything particularly nicely. So go with pinch and it will come up with a message. You can always click don't show again. I'm just going to leave it, obviously tutorial purposes. And then click OK. Now, instead of obviously that linear design, you've got it sort of crunched in a bit. And you can apply again. Now, unfortunately, the pinch effect, you can't move the origin of the pinch. It's a pity. In things like Affinity Photo, you can do that. I would love to see those sort of features in this one. Now, you can see I'm actually starting to develop a bit of a straight line there that slightly might be a bit annoying later. Anyway, what I can now do, I can use other ones. And I'm just going to go for filter and down to distort. And I'm just going to use twirl. Now, twirl, you can push it too far with twirl. Just go for a reasonably subtle twirl, just like that. Click OK. And as long as it's obviously it's in the center, it doesn't create too much disturbance there. You can get away with it. And also another one that works well, filters, distort, and shear. There's probably others that work well as well. And you can see the design now. I'm just shearing this design. Click OK. And again, you can apply that multiple times. Always go to filter and shear again. And just check, make certain you're not forming any real sharp lines. Slightly like along here, you can start seeing that a bit too. But what you can also do, go to the move tool. It's a layer. There's a layer, you can just duplicate it. So go to layer and down to duplicate layer. Duplicate layer, and this point, of course, is exactly the same. Now, don't rotate it. Don't do anything like that. But what you can do is you can shift it. And you can shift that to a different position. Still a pattern design. But also, what you can do is you can go to blend modes. And you can go, say, difference. Maybe lighten. So you can vary it depending on the result you want to achieve. And you can move this back and forth. So you might like to decide, you know what, I want to get that wavy design over there as well in different positions. And you can, of course, always layer, duplicate layer, click OK, and do exactly the same. And create another one. Still all seamless design. This design is applied over and over again, so it will stretch out to eternity. At any point, you can always go to Layer and Flatten Image. Now you can also go to Image and Adjustments and apply some of these. Some work better than others. You can do like Invert, so you can get like a design like that. And again, at any point, you might decide, oh, I love that. I love that design. Edit and Define Pattern. Click OK. And you can still, if you wish, go back to the Move tool, select different gradient. Let's just go for, say, this one or this one, any of them, maybe that one. Apply that. And of course, at some point, it starts to end up looking probably not the world's greatest. But you can see you can apply it multiple times, again, using Shear, Edit, and Define Pattern. But once you've done all that, you think, well, great, I've got all these patterns. What can I do? Well, what you can do, go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Pattern. Now, let's just turn this view pattern preview off. So you've got this design. Now, let's just zoom in a bit. See that? And now what you do, go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Pattern. You could, of course, use patterns in other ways. I'm just using pattern as a fill layer. Click OK. Now, that's obviously always defaults to the first one, not the one you've just last created, which I find slightly annoying feature. Personally, I think it should always use the one you've just created, which seems to be the most obvious one that you're going to be using, not the first one. So you've created this, and as long as I've defined it, whatever I've defined that one. Or, no, I've defined them in different positions. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Unfortunately, if you're defining it and you've already selected one, it puts it in a different position, not the last used. There. And you can see now I've got this pattern. That was the one I just created. So now what I can do, 25. And you can see the pattern. Now, obviously, you can see the duplication. If you create a 5,000 by 5,000 size pattern design, obviously it's not going to be so bad. But for the purposes of this video, so I create a slightly smaller design. So you can see there, and also then you've got the angle. And you can just change the angle and click OK. It doesn't look so obvious then. And you've still got pattern design behind it. You can then, of course, blend with that if you want and create other designs. Or just leave it as blend mode of normal. And of course, you can always go to Layer and Flatten Image. And you can use it with Pattern Stamp, loads of other features as well. So that is a quick way of creating some very interesting pattern designs using just basic gradient tool applied with reflected, using difference blending mode, as well as combined with a few distort filters, just to create all kinds of wavy and wonderful pattern designs in Photoshop, seamless designs. Hope you found this of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Always great to hear from you. Thank you much.